Well, there's no time like the present. Welcome to the stream. We are live. I'm Tommy, your host. I mean, it's on the Tommy Calloway YouTube channel, so that only makes sense. I never know how to start these things. Well, anyways, tonight we are looking at almost the end of this bottle here. So let's go ahead and do that pour. And this stream is lit with one light this evening. And I had the whiskey placed here so I get this weird magnifying effect as I go to grab it. My hand gets nice and big. And here's our light. Whoopsh. Cheers. Hey, what's up, Kobe? Thanks for showing up. Ryan, ooh, someone beat you to the punch. But hey, you're the first person with a verified badge. So thanks for showing up. All right, so I went with one light this evening. It's just a LEDGO Altitude ADC, and I have it up here on the C-stand, and I'm going to move it around here and create a couple of different looks. So just by moving this light behind me, it lights up a little bit of the background and creates a nice, beautiful back soft light. Or not soft light, a beautiful rim light and hair light. Just all I did. Here we go. I just moved it over here. I went from here to here. Let's see if I can get the picture on. Nope. I need to set that up. 1 second. Camera 1. There we go. So just like this. Boom. Now it's behind me. Looks good. Nice hair light and backlight. And if I put it into this last position over here, let's get rid of that. It really doesn't do much over there, but now it's just lighting up the background. And so if I was doing it like this, I would really want to have some type of fill or key light, because it's all this is doing is working on the background. But one light, 3 different placements, does a whole lot of different things. I think my favorite is using it right back here, because I kind of like that dark and moody. You can see what's happening. You can tell that we're in a bedroom type situation, or a studio anyways, a small room. You get the outline of me, you see what's happening. You still know who I am because I'm in my place. I don't know. I was just trying to do something a little bit different today. I wonder how that looks on the whiskey angle. Yeah, it still looks pretty good. Didn't change a whole lot there. From there to there, I think that looks fine. Well, here we are. What's up, Pat? Late lit streams. And Ryan, you're first on your screen? Yeah. I'll cheers to that. Let's see. Kobe says, current aperture and ISO for live camera. Well, I don't have any aperture lights because you spelled aperture with a U, and that is the brand Aperture. They sell lights. Aperture is a different word, and I've caught myself misspelling it sometimes too. A-P-E-R. Here, I'm going to put it in the chat. Aperture. Let's see. So for the live camera, we've got this one over here. This is the whiskey cam, and we're actually on the probe lens for this shot. So the ISO is 12,800, and I've got the aperture set to f14 because that's as low as it goes. Over here, you know what? Let me check for you. This one is at ISO 320 and aperture f1.8 because it's I don't need to be at f14, so I have the probe lens at 12,800 because the A7S III would otherwise have a lot of noise if I moved it down. So, and then over here, this one is a f2.8 ISO 640. There we go. Yeah, and the this light is only at 18%. There we go. And so this light's at 18% power. It gets quite bright. What's going on, Mr. Camera Junkie? Thanks for showing up. Nils Codes, current apertures in use for lighting. Yeah, none. This is just one light. The only light that I have here for you guys showing up late here is this one light. It's just the Let Go Alta tube. That's all we got. You don't need a million lights, but you can make do with a few lights. Of course, I would recommend getting more lights because you can do more with them. Why is there a probe lens in front of your face? This is not the probe lens. This is my microphone because I want to be able to cheers it. You guys get this nice horrible sound every time I do that. So Ellis, it's still vibrating here. Ellis Friedman says, Tommy, I must say I'm always impressed at your expertise, professionalism, and general good vibes you put out into each and every stream. Well, thank you for showing up. I really appreciate that. And Quasnick Pictures, yo, what's up, man? What's poppin'? Yeah, you're in New Zealand, right? You have, I love your Instagram. I always do, and we talk sometimes. You guys check out Quasnick Pictures Instagram. He posts some great photos, and lots of companies and people try and copy his profile and duplicate it, and it's actually a real problem because he's so talented. People just try and steal his stuff. But keep up the good work, man. Jared says, loving the one light stream. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. It's easy to get distracted and always want to play with all of my toys and turn all the lights on. But sometimes it's great to try and take things away and, challenge yourself to just use one tool because, that can spark creativity and open up options that you didn't know existed. I have another light that I almost used, which is the Light Panels Gemini 1x1 Soft. And that one I have mounted up here that I'll turn on for just a second to show you guys what's going on with it. And I was going to light it like this. So I would use that one because that one is bouncing off of my wall over there, and it creates a nice soft kind of fill key situation over here. And I've got like this is still acting as my kind of rim light and outlining me and everything. And I like this look too, but I think that I just liked the one light look a whole lot better. It was a lot more dark and moody, what I'm going for. And of course, the thumbnail is one light, so I had to just use one light. Is there any, let's see, Apolok says, is there any real difference between umbrella versus softbox? Oh yeah. The umbrella, you need to make sure whatever light you're using has an umbrella holder because, you got to be able to mount it. Umbrellas are a lot easier to deploy, but you also have the light in the softbox. So if you're going for like an eye light, you might have like the light blocking a piece of it and it might look kind of weird. I don't know. It just kind of depends what you're going for. And Quasnick says, yeah, bro, New Zealand, 6 p.m. at the moment. That's not too bad. The whiskey of choice tonight, Jared, is, here we go. Still out of focus. The Jim Beam Black Extra Aged. We are going to kill this bottle probably next week. And then I will go and pick up a bottle of Highland Park 18. It's one of my favorite scotches. And I did a consult the other day. And I'm going to use the money from that consult to get a nice bottle of whiskey. The consult was, of course, for lighting. So it only makes sense to reinvest it back into the channel. And he said it was for whiskey, so I have to buy whiskey with it. Jared, yo, Camera Junkie. Yeah, Quasnick says he hates those scammers. Always got to try and take those copy accounts down. That's a real problem. One light setup. Let Tommy at least use his Titan. Yeah, I've got two Titans now. We have the Titan X1 and the Titan X2. Yeah, so we got one, and then I don't know if you noticed, but the other one's right here. It's the barn doors are closed. The barn doors are closed, so you're not going to see much light coming out. The Titans are fantastic. I'm working on a video for the Titan X2. It's always complicated to review a light that is very, very similar to another light, just like a different size, because, you know, what do you say? You've already reviewed the light's technology, the features, the gels, you know, what you like about it. It's the same thing, it's just bigger and more powerful. So that's something I've talked about a little bit with some of my peers, is how do you approach a video like that and keep it interesting for the very few people that are actually interested in lighting who've already seen that video. You know, there's even a more limited audience. So trying to do videos like that is it's challenging sometimes, but I think that I did pretty good. You'll see when I publish the video sometime in the next couple days. And Ellis Friedman says, so true. I mean, a clear example of low budget movies pulling off better ambience and visuals with their limited budgets. Yeah, sometimes they just make it work better. Cheers. Newton G says, what's up, Tommy? I still struggle with light placement for my interview style setup using the Godox SL150. Any tips? Yeah. Why are you struggling with it? And, does the light just look too hard? Do you need to soften it up a bit? You know, softening your light doesn't mean getting a softbox. About 1 million YouTubers have made videos about how to use a simple bed sheet to make your light super soft. Just hang it off of a C-stand like a T-bar. In fact, another one, Crimson Engine, he has a YouTube channel. He did a video on that like today or yesterday. You can watch his video on how to do that. It's a cheap, simple solution. And the other thing about light placement is, I mean, it's not just now it's a backlight, now it's a nice soft key light. You know, it's the proximity. Something I've been trying to get better at and talking about and teaching is you should light everything with intention. And that is anywhere that anything's lit on in the camera is I want to make sure that I chose for light to be there. And a really important, an important concept is also the proximity of how close it is to you because of the rule of, was it the rule of thirds? Not the rule of thirds. Inverse square law. That's the one. So the closer the light is to you, the brighter it is. It's the same concept with how close you want to be to your microphone. If you're really, really close to a microphone, you know, you get this proximity effect because you're super close to it. And then if you're really, really far away from a microphone, you start hearing some of that room noise because my sound is hitting more things. The same concept applies to lighting because it's just, you know, the closer this light is to me, the more intense it is going to make the things that it's hitting. And so you can get a light really, really dim and really close to you, and then everything in the background won't be lit because of that proximity effect, you know, the inverse square law. If you want more things to be lit with the same light, get it further away, crank it up a bit. You know, let's do that now as an example. Let's turn it up a bit and get it far away, you know. It's a totally different effect. Obviously this looks horrible because those raccoon eyes, maybe if I change the direction a bit. It's different, you know. Play with the intensity and the proximity and you'll get a very different look. So maybe try that and come back and let me know what you think. I was at 18%. Let's get back there. Quasnick Pictures, is that 2 rotolights in the background? Yes, it is. What's going on? Okay, yeah, My Sugar Daddy. What a name for a YouTube person. Kobe says maybe X1 versus X2 comparison for people trying to decide. Yeah, I intend on talking about the intensity a bit, the differences, and a little bit about how the X2 is twice as large, so you can get it further away while remaining softer than the X1, which is a clear advantage of getting a larger fixture. But then you lose portability, and obviously it costs way more. So there's just a lot of things to consider there. Mr. Camera Junkie says, "You look like you're about to be abducted." Thanks. And HK Studio Tamil, "What's up, status?" Says, "Hi, I'm from India." Well, how you doing? Niels Code says, "Intentional low lighting. Gotta say, though, I did not like the underexposed first few episodes of Umbrella Academy. Didn't do it for me. Intentional style, but the DP is not on my short list." Yeah, I think that they had just watched the last episode of Game of Thrones, and they're probably like super impressed. And right before they started filming that, I don't know when that came out. But I really did enjoy the Umbrella Academy. I wonder if they're going to do any more. This painting you guys see over here, this little guy, I painted that at one of these, here it is, these little places where you drink a glass of wine and paint. I did that with my wife. I didn't like the thing that they were doing, so I just kind of went off on my own and I made a big moon. There wasn't supposed to be a moon in that. Anyways, I just got distracted. And season 3 is being filmed. Sweet. Yeah, so Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So that'd be 8 hours earlier than I start this stream, but on a Saturday. I'll be on Lawa's channel doing a live stream for them talking about wide lenses. So if you want to participate in a Saturday stream, I'll be streaming off to their Facebook and off to their YouTube channel talking about lighting and wide lenses and using the probe lens on a live stream and some of those things. A lot of it will be review in terms of lighting. Some of the stuff will be new in terms of using wide lenses and how to make them not look terrible in a live stream, or how to actually use a wide lens in a live stream. I'll be honest, I haven't planned out the whole thing just yet. I kind of gave them an outline. I said, yeah, I'll do it. But then Saturday is really approaching super fast. So got to spend a little bit of time tomorrow figuring out what the heck I'm going to say. But I really like Laowa's lenses. I've used the 15mm f2 on the Nikon Z6 when I had it for a really long time. I still have the lens. I sold off the Nikon, but I kept the lens. And now I have the 15mm f2 for the A7S III. And I've also got the 9mm, was it a 5.8 for the A7S III? And I'll be talking about that one a little bit on their stream. And of course, the probe lens, because I bought that a while ago, and it's a fantastic lens. Use it all the time there. So I'll be there if you guys want to hang out on a Saturday with me, probably for about an hour. And yeah, that's really, I just want to do one light stream, but we still got some whiskey here. So if anyone wants to do some questions, fire away. Maybe we'll start turning on some other lights, because this one light thing is there's not a whole lot to talk about. I've had this light for a little while and I don't use it super often, but let's just switch it up. So now it's going to be my key light, and I want another, like a outline, a backlight of some kind. So let's do that. So of course, I'm going to use the Titan X2. I'm rolling over cords. There we are. All done. Here we go. Now look how much more dynamic that is. Just right here. See, now we're two lights. If I turn this one off, go back to one light, now it's just kind of this red stream. Now, if I notice when I'm using these a light like this as as a back and kind of washing into my fill area over here, I like to have another backlight to show that I didn't just put a red filter over my whatever video clip it is. So if I turn this one back on now and use it as a backlight, it creates more depth. Now I gotta turn this down. Just a little bit, not a lot. Just something to show that there's something special going on there. So we got the white light as just like, this is not just a red filter. There's red light in here. So whenever I'm doing that, I like to kind of have that effect. What's going on, Kevin Lee? Thanks for showing up. And Kobe says, ever work with HMI? No, I've not. I've heard that it's really bright, and I've never worked with an HMI. There you go. I have an ARRI 650 tungsten that I've used once, and it got really hot, and I got scared of it. So I never used it again because I'm always in my home studio, and I don't want to have to put gloves on to move a light. We're really in a fantastic age for lighting. If I had started this channel any earlier, tungstens probably would have been still super popular. And I mean, they're just dangerous. So it's awesome that we can get the quality of lighting that we do today with LEDs, and they're so much safer. It's amazing. Ella says, so impressively ominous. Well, thank you. Joshua says, so how should I invest in gear for film? Currently renting lighting, cinema camera, Blackmagic pocket cinema camera, and budget sound. How should you invest? Well, good question. So if you're renting lighting, how consistently are you charging for rentals? That's kind of my first question there. Is it every month there's at least a certain amount of work where you have to charge for lights that you're renting? Because if it's pretty consistent and that's what you're doing, my kind of go-to there would be see if you can finance the lights that you want to buy within the budget of how much money you've made over the past 6 months consistently, by having to rent lights and offloading that cost onto your clients. And at that point, by the time you have paid off whatever light you financed, then it's profit and you own your own lights. That's how I would do it. JBS Film says, had a question about the Aperture 300X. Would it be powerful enough to be used as a solid spotlight? Yeah, you would just need to get the Aperture spotlight. It's perfectly adequate. Now, if you need more intensity, then of course try it, rent it maybe first. But if you need more power, then you'd have to go with the 300D Mark II. It gets a lot brighter in daylight temperature, daylight color temperature. But if if in the 300X, if you put it down to about 4,500 Kelvin, and then you put it into max output mode, where it puts as much intensity into both color channels as possible, then it will get almost as bright as the 300D Mark II. So yeah, I mean, it would be bright enough if you don't mind that color temperature. When you put gels in front of a light, it will reduce the intensity a little bit. So there's that. Hopefully that answers your question. I have a 300X beneath me. I've got it set up as my footrest. I know I promised I would show you guys that last week, but I didn't. So it'll have to be next week. Sorry. Yeah, it's wedged between my desk's pillars as my footrest because it's suspended and it's the perfect width. And the 300X's case is rigid, so it works really well for that. It's kind of funny. Daniel says, "Hola, amigo." What's going on, friend? Apolock says, "What's the most common lighting mistake you see in YouTube videos?" Oh, that's going to have to be people that use RGB LED strips to light up their backgrounds and subsequently introduce flicker into their videos, because those lights that you plug into like a computer that are little 5-volt, RGB lights that have that terrible little remote, they flicker really bad, and it's super obvious. Every video that even some people in the filmmaker YouTube community who talk about lights and try and teach about lights and give you tips and tricks on how to make better videos and all those, even they sometimes have the lights that are like just annoying as hell and flickering in their backgrounds and like flickering and creating these banding effects, and it's super annoying. So I say stay away from the RGB LED strips because of that. Now it's not the end of the world if you are using them and you like them, especially if what you're doing doesn't really matter in terms of flicker. Like if you're doing like TikTok videos or social content. But if you're trying to be serious about understanding the image that you're creating, then yes, those are a plague. So using lights that flicker and create banding in YouTube videos is like the first most common mistake that I see in lighting. Another mistake that I see all the time is as soon as someone buys a light, they turn it up to 100%, fire and forget, which is the opposite of what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to light with intention. You're supposed to understand what you're lighting. You want to pick where the light is going, and you don't want to just blast your lights everywhere because it'll just look bad. You want to light with intention. That's another reason why I have all my windows blocked out, and it's just I like to pick what's being lit. I don't know. I don't like sunlight. It gets in the way. Sunlight's great. It's beautiful. It's the most high quality light there is, but it's annoying because a cloud can come along and just screw up your whole day. So that's another reason why I like to be in this little studio. I mean, I'd like to be in a bigger studio with all the windows blocked out, but whenever that happens, it happens. Nil says, what do you recommend if I want a light strip on video? I don't know, big tube lights. I'm not sure. I haven't found light strips that are adequate for video lighting yet. I'll let you guys know when I find one. Kevin Lee says, rent a grip truck and bill it to your client, or buy your gear and charge your client rental fees. Yep, that's I think we were talking to JBS Films about. No, not him. Joshua Dowleth. How should you invest in gear for film? That guy told you. A grip truck, yeah. Kevin says you can rent a truck with lighting supports and modifiers. You guys are talking to each other now. I'm just following the combo. From Trinidad, Caribbean. So the film industry is pretty young, not a lot of resources or film enterprises yet. Well, you know what, Joshua? Maybe you should start a rental house and a film school out there. Be the first. Maybe that'll work. Last Tyrannus TV says, hey, Tommy, saludos from Dominican Republic. I have two questions. One, what's your experience with the Orion 300 after the review? And you pay something for that light. Well, excellent question, my friend. Let's give you a cheers. Well, so the way I run my YouTube channel, and I'm pretty transparent about this, is for the most part, any gear that I review is in exchange for that gear. And if I've paid for, except for all my cameras and most of my lenses, but for lights, companies send them to me. They volunteer to send them to me, and I review them. I'm very upfront that if I review the light, then I'm keeping the light. If there's no money exchanged, it's just I'm keeping the light. So no, I didn't pay for the light. They sent it to me for free in exchange for a review. I do my best, and that's the end of it. They're still working on their firmware. They're still pushing out firmware updates, which is awesome. And sometimes I still have to pay for lights. For example, to get the Rotolite Titan X2, I had to sell a couple of my other lights to buy this one. So not everything is sent to me for free. Sometimes I have to buy things. And when I have to buy things, I sell other things that I've already reviewed that have been retired from my studio. And then I buy the thing that I want, so I can make a video about it. So this channel is self-sustaining in that I've either received what I'm talking about on my videos in exchange for a video, or things that I've reviewed in the past that were given to me, I've sold and then paid for the things that are in my studio. So my channel is at a net zero. It's not profitable, but it's not losing money. And that is also taking into account all of the AdSense and all of the affiliate earnings, which actually equates to around $2,000 a month. I invest every cent that this channel makes back into the channel. And so there's a significant amount of money that I spend on stuff, but I don't see it as money that I'm losing. I see it as money that I've invested into my channel. And that's how I run my channel. So I'm not out of pocket for anything in my studio, although I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on stuff. I don't know. I'm running it as a net neutral. Now I have a second line of business I have coming up, which is where I'm going to start a workshop. I'm going to start selling courses and more digital assets. Those things are what I'm going to use to convert my channel into a business that sustains my family. And when I can replace my full-time income with income from that line of business on video content, at that point, then I'll be taking a paycheck, and that's different. So I'm in the middle of making that kind of transition, but I see them as two separate sort of lines of business under the Tommy Calloway YouTube enterprise so far. We'll see how that goes. What's going on, Ron? Thanks for showing up, man. So I hope that answers your question. Los Tyrannos TV and how much I paid for the light. The Orion 300 was sent to me in exchange for the review. That was not one of the lights that I paid out of pocket for. However, I really do like that light, and I think it's the best option in terms of a full color light, simply because, in terms of a COB style full color light at the moment, because it is RGBWCL, meaning it has red, green, blue, white, lime, and cyan chips instead of red, green, blue, white, and amber chips. So there's more accurate colors throughout the spectrum. So it's still the least expensive option that offers that level of color accuracy. Yeah. So that was kind of a mouthful. Kevin says he's talking to Joshua. Here we go. Captain Spank says, loving the setup, just missing the splash of blue light on the other side of your shot. Ominous music and lightsabers. Blue. Let's go with blue then. All right. How's this? Does this work? I know we started the stream with one light, but now we're up to three. This is getting tricky. You can do a lot with three lights, you know? You can do a lot with one light, and I showed you that in the beginning. If you didn't see the beginning of the stream, feel free to rewind. But I like this. I like the ominous darkness in the back with the outline. JBS Film says, what are your thoughts on the GVM lights? I feel like GVM's lights are in line with Neewer, which is really, really low quality. That's my experience with them so far. However, they do have a full color, really, really affordable full color options. And when you're going for a full color light, simply to use it to change, splash colors on backgrounds or give yourself a colorful outline, or just for the full color capabilities, not at all in terms of color accuracy or, white, amber type light. In that case, it doesn't really matter. If it has the intensity that you require, then it's likely going to be adequate for what you're trying to do. And in that case, those type of lights are a great option. It's when you want to use them for something where they are outside of that purpose is where they become a huge problem, because the color accuracy is awful. They have burn-in issues, and I'm specifically talking about those newer panels that you get for like $50 on Amazon. Those, after you turn them on at 100% intensity for 15 minutes, they'll burn in a green tint that you can't correct. So I guess those are my opinion, is you get what you pay for in any industry, and lighting is no exception. This is where the lighting is at, by the way, so far. So the Rotolight Titan X2 is over here with the red, and I have it on not soft. And for anyone that's here that's not seen the Rotolight Titan, the reason it's so exciting, just watch. What I did there is I turned the diffusion up to 100%. So now it's a soft panel, and that's huge. That's why that light costs a lot of money and why it's worth it to me. But I have a video coming up on that in the next week. So anyways, where were we? I get distracted super easy when I play with lights. Sorry, guys. Kobe says, thank you for all of your hard work, even though you're just breaking even. Well, thank you. It's the long haul, you know. Treat it like a business until it can sustain itself, or until it can sustain you. And it's the long-term goal. Kevin says, gear like lights and lenses are such a good investment because they retain their value. It always feels like a long-term self-rental. Yeah, you know, and if you're a professional and you are charging for these rentals that you're doing, then eventually it will pay for itself. Personally, my only paid professional work is, well, I don't do any paid professional work. I do all my work in this YouTube studio. So, you know, there's that. What's up, Ron? I think I said what's up to you already, but hey, thanks for showing up. Kobe, I'm scrolling up through the comments because I got distracted and lost in where I lost my place. Kobe says, ever work with the KinoFlow fluorescent tube lights? Likes and dislikes. No, I haven't, but I've heard a lot of really good things, and one of my friends recently bought a whole bunch of them, and he said that they're really bright and they work great. So KinoFlow, you know, they're fine, they work good, and there's, I think, Quasar Science, they have some really good affordable light options too in the fluorescent form factor. So there's that. Ben's Tech Lab says, supposedly Philips Hue RGB strip lights don't flicker, but I see a flicker specifically once the white LEDs get involved in the chosen hue. Yeah, I've noticed that too. You know, if once you start introducing saturation, the lower quality lights still have a huge issue with flicker, and I think that's really irritating. You're welcome, Lost Tyrannus. Nils says, to Ben's Tech Lab, I'm going to try and ignore comments that are tagging other people because I want to get caught up here. Mr. Camera Junkie says, I like the progression in the light setup. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. You get cheers. No, I'm supposed to pick it up. Here we go. Because I had this glass here simply so you could see my hand getting magnified as I went to go pick it up. So, cheers. Ron Garrett says, any advice when it comes to business entity type for full-time YouTuber, self-employed, LLC, S Corp, etc.? I would go, what I did is I have a corporation with the S Corp election, so I'm an S Corp, and I am an employee of my corporation. My corporation does all of my billing as my media entity for all of my software architecture, and then I'm doing the media as another thing. So I recommend S Corp because it is a pass-through entity, and you need to pay yourself as an employee, but the corporation, I don't know. This is not tax advice or legal advice, and I'm the last person you should talk to about how to do this. But in my opinion, I really like the S Corp structure. So my corporation earns everything, through different ways of collecting payment. It has its own bank account. I pay myself as an employee, and I work hours, and I have sick days, and I'm just a regular W-2 employee. I give myself a reasonable wage for the work that I'm doing, but the corporation has its own bank account that it can spend stuff on, and those are, business deductions, and you have to keep everything super separate. You have to treat it like it's a separate person that's doing all the earning while you're earning wages. So talk to your tax guy about doing that. At the very least, you should do an LLC as like a minimum, but an S Corp is slightly more complicated. Make sure you get a good CPA. I hate taxes, but I pay them. Joshua says, what's the best way to start gaining meaningful experience and revenue from video, photography, and film work? Personally, I own a Canon T7i, a gimbal, and a Dream. Well, I'll tell you my story. It's, I used to work for a company as, their programmer. I don't think I need to divulge the name of the company or what they did. It was, internet memes, basically. I built a meme generator, and we built those, we innovated those listicles that were the plague of Facebook. It was our idea. We came up with them where you have to click next to see every page of the article, and then there's like 30 images. There's a whole bunch of ads on every page. That was at the height of that company's, revenue. Anyways, they had these huge social pages with, millions of likes on Facebook, and they would post an article on Facebook and get just a ridiculous amount of traffic. And this is where I learned the most about creating scalable architecture and how to run a cluster of 90 servers for a single website and how to deal with load balancing. And I learned a lot there. But what had me the most intrigued about that company was these social pages that they owned, these assets that they built this business around, that they wanted to run display ads and use this massive free traffic cannon to earn money. And so I know that every YouTuber and every person that's on YouTube is going to tell you, you shouldn't start a YouTube channel to make money. It should be for passion. My goal when I started YouTube was I want to make money. I see this as a viable business. I have seen it succeed. I've seen the power of social media and what it can do. And I've carried a camera around with me for photography purposes for a couple years, so I kind of knew about the exposure triangle and all that. And so I started a YouTube channel, and because of my experience with this other company, I knew about affiliate marketing and how powerful it could be. And I was like, I'm just going to review stuff. And the thing that tipped me over the edge of starting my YouTube channel was my wife was watching some video. Some vlogger lady was folding her laundry for like 30 minutes. And it was like a 3-minute time lapse of this chick doing her laundry. And she had like 100,000 subscribers, and this video had 100,000 views. And it was just mind-boggling to me that 100,000 people would watch this person fold her laundry for 3 minutes. Like, come on, I can do a better video than that. And, so I then quickly realized how difficult it was to make a video, but I started. And I didn't know anything about making video. I didn't know how to edit video. In fact, the first video on my channel, which it's still on my channel, it was uploaded straight from the SD card. I didn't know anything about it. So you can start a channel with a dream in terms of YouTube. Now, that was my goal, was to finance a real YouTube, creator studio with the hobby of YouTube. And so I accomplished that a while ago. It's where I built out my entire studio with revenue and sponsorships generated from the channel itself. And so that's how I got the channel to where it's at today. Now, having achieved that goal, I've realized that my passion is in working with video and educating about video. And I've learned that in order to grow a channel and become known in an industry, you need to niche down. And that took me a year. It took me 3 years actually to learn that. Prior to that, the first 3 years of my YouTube channel, it grew very, very slowly. And that's because I was creating variety content. I just made any video that I thought would do well. The fourth video on my channel, which you can't find anymore, by the way, I deleted it. In fact, I deleted a whole series of videos on various topics. It was about 3 million views. More than half the views on my channel were demolished because I was in the wrong niche with those videos. The fourth video on my channel was how to hack Pokemon Go. It was because Pokemon Go came out, right? And the day after, because I'm a programmer, I was like, oh, I don't want to leave the house. And so I hacked the GPS on my iPhone and I showed the world how to change the GPS on their iPhone so they could catch Pokemon while sitting at home. Of course, that video went viral. I got 500,000 views. And the problem is, I made a couple more videos on that because I was like, oh, this is getting a lot of views. I can make money. And it made a couple $100 or whatever from AdSense. The problem is I don't want to keep making videos about that topic. And anytime I published a review, the problem was everyone that subscribed to my channel from those viral videos that I had no interest in anymore, they would see that it was a tech review. They wouldn't click on it, so the CTR was abysmal. Or they would click on it because they recognized me. And then they would see that it was like a tech review and it wasn't Pokemon or something. And so they would click away right away and it would get like 1 second of watch time. And so the YouTube algorithm it destroyed my channel over the next year or two. And so I had to whittle away all the content that was irrelevant to my current interests. And over the past year or so, I've kind of really niched into filmmaking and lighting in particular because I want to be known as the guy that understands lighting so I can teach you about lighting. Because when you're looking for advice about what light to buy, I hope that you find one of my videos and I am able to educate you on the pros and cons of all of those different lights. You're able to make a decision and then click an affiliate link to purchase something, which then helps my channel continue to grow. And so that was my strategy for deriving revenue with YouTube. Now, not everyone has the patience to do that or grow a channel or the experience with social media or the desire to be on YouTube. There's other ways to create money with a camera. And in fact, I think the majority of people that own a camera and create money with that camera do it a different way than I did. But I'm not going to be the person that tells you how to do that because I don't have that experience. What I can tell you is from my mistakes over the past 5 years of growing this channel, what might give you the best chance of using your camera to create a filmmaking channel. I know how to get conversions on affiliate marketing. I know how to make a tech review video, and I know what kind of videos will probably get better views and what kind of videos won't get views. You want to know what kind of video won't get views? A review about a light. But you know what video doesn't have to get views for you to get a valuable light for free? A video about a light. That's one of the reasons I went into lighting earlier, was you could get really high value items to make a video as long as you know how to make a decent quality video for free, and the views don't really matter as long as you can provide a good end product, because nobody's interested in lights. Those videos don't get views. People aren't searching really for lighting. Lighting is a sub-niche of filmmaking, which is a sub-niche of the audience on YouTube. It's a very limited audience. But the people that the people that watch these videos, the few people that will find them are searching for specific tools, the lights that you're reviewing, which is why these companies see it as valuable to send people that are interested in creating a review on YouTube those products. So you can get a big light, but your payment or your compensation for making a video about that light is going to be the light. People aren't going to click affiliate links and buy it. It's a $3,000 tool, right? They're going to either rent it, or they're going to tell their production person to go buy it, or to, their warehouse to go order a set of 10, but you're not going to get any compensation for that. They're probably not going to pay you. They sent you a $3,000 light. So that was the principle of why I stopped working with loaners. Working with loaner equipment is such a tremendous waste of my own time. The only person that it would provide value is the company that sent the light. It's like working for free. There's literally nothing in it for you. So don't work with loaners, particularly if you're reviewing lights. I guess, I don't know. I kind of went off on a huge tangent there. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Kevin says, yeah, digging the lights. What power level do you have the red light at right now? The Rotolight Titan X2. Is at 1% power with 100% diffusion. So it's super dim right now. Art says Alpha Gaming did a head-to-head with RGB strip lights, and Elgato did not flicker at any shutter. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, man. So Elgato for the strip lights. And Kevin Lee says, you can adjust the diffusion. What sort of sorcery is this? Yeah, it's like privacy glass, electronic diffusion. Watch my video on the Titan X1. It was one of my favorite videos to produce that I've ever done. I'm extremely proud of it. It feels very much like if I'm to do a tech review, this is the ideal video that I could possibly do for this ever. So go watch that video after this. Nils says, but he's not one that plays with different shutter speeds and camera angles. Yeah, or camera settings rather. Shutter speeds, camera settings. Yeah, so if you keep your camera at 1/50 or 1/48 or the 180 degree shutter angle, then flicker is less of a problem that you run into super often. But once you start bumping up the shutter speeds, or you start trying to do higher frame rates for that slow-mo footage, which will adjust your shutter speed, that's when you start really noticing flicker. Neil says, Tommy Calloway, grab a reflector and show folks how you can turn your one light setup into a two light setup with only one source. Yeah, okay, we can do that. I lied. It's buried under tripods and cameras and other stuff. So, yeah, let's go back to one light. Actually, let's do two lights again. So if you have, here's something that's interesting actually. So I know the Nova's back there, but I'll just scoot over a bit. All right, so with this type of light, if you've got this nice one soft key and you don't have something to give you like this nice outline, if you use another light to create this kind of, so we've got light in the background, dark in the background, light on my face, dark on my face, you can use the background to give you a solid outline. And this is a really nice kind of look, but my shoulder is still kind of too dark, but that Nova's in the way. Let's get back here. You guys know what I'm saying. It works on my face, but if I had less crap back there, you'd be able to see it really well. So that's a really good strategy for using two lights. And of course, back to the dark and moody here. Let's change some color temperature. So we're in this nice bright white, but if we make it really white, it looks kind of cold, uninviting. Let's play with color temperature a little bit here. It looks kind of like just cold and uninviting. Warm it up just a smidge, and it looks really clean. Like it looks nice and warm in here now. But here's what I found really interesting. So I'm going to turn on my... Oh. All right, we got about 30 seconds to stop this stream or so. This is the Aperture 120D Mark II. It looks really green. In comparison. Like the color quality, it looks so different, you know? I don't know if it's because my eyes have adjusted already to whatever setting I have this light on with like red and magenta, but it just looks super green here. Now I usually use it as my key light, but it just looks so much, you know, greener. Super weird. Just wanted to point that out. All right. JBS Films, thanks for your feedback. Tommy, appreciate it. Kevin Lee says S-Corp is a great way to go for sure. Ron says that's helpful re-S-Corp. Poke Tommy. Kobe says, do you think it's possible to be a film studio, feature films, and survive only on YouTube revenue, releasing only one feature per year? I think that depends entirely on how many views you get and how well you do with affiliate marketing. Maybe if you have a really high, you know, it really depends on how much money your channel's generating. If you're able to pay yourself, then yeah, of course, it all comes down to numbers. I know a lot of people that survive on YouTube income as filmmakers, so it's entirely possible. It's just, it depends on your individual needs and how much money you're making. I guess that was kind of a non-answer. Kevin says, that huge tangent just inspired me to reach out to light manufacturers. Do it, man. Take it. Take the crown. I am a little bit tired of reviewing lights because I know that I can't just review lights to support myself on YouTube. I need to make more visible content. Kobe says, super awesome tangent. Thank you. Kevin Lee says 1%. That's really nice with that diffusion. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's you know, I'm telling you, man, Titan X2. It was worth every penny. Lots and lots of pennies. What was that? 600,000 pennies? Yeah, sounds right. Yeah, 600,000 pennies. Joshua says, thanks a lot. Mr. Camera Junkie says, the Sony low light is killer. Thank you, man. Yeah, that's why I got 3 of them, A7S3s. And looks like the X-Files episode with cool light. Neil says, do you know your camera's white balance? Yeah, 5500 Kelvin. Neutral settings, everything else. That's what I set all my A7S3s to, 5500 Kelvin. And with that, you guys, I think that we're done for the evening. We're empty. Kevin says, thanks for all you do, man. Love this channel and getting to interact with you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming to the semi one light live stream tonight. Getting lit. And keep an eye out for my workshop. I'll be doing one of those at the end of April where I will critique and advise you on up to 5 questions, as well as your own individual lighting setups for your studios. I'm going to do it. I'm thinking the 3rd week of April. That's going to come really fast though. But if you want to be on the mailing list for when I release that, make sure you just send me a Twitter direct message with your email address. So I'll put you on that first email blast. I'll give you guys priority. I'm going to limit it to 30 people. $75 a head, I think, is where I'm going to start. And that's going to be it. And then we're going to do a 4-hour thing on a Saturday or a Sunday. We're going to work together. We'll work with lights. You can ask me any question about any light or, YouTube as a business. It's going to be fun. So thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you on Saturday if you're there. It's 2 p.m. Saturday Pacific Standard Time on Laowa's channel, where I'll be hosting their stream talking about wide lenses, using wide lenses on live streams and lights and the probe lens and stuff like that. Thanks again for watching. See you next time. Peace.